Hey all, it is May 18th. It's probably going to be a bit of a shorter one because I'm stood under a tree sheltering from the rain. Um, uh, yeah, it's raining reasonably heavily right now, and I'm, well, mostly undercover. So, um, yeah, I've had a pretty productive week in terms of work. I finished the first of those three Nimble Starter adventures. It's like a series of adventures that follow on after from each other. And yeah, I got the first one done, I think on Thursday, Friday, maybe. It was recently. Yeah, getting some editing work done on this project with Lucas Anderson. That's sort of going ahead once I learn more about how the project is being sort of kicked off in terms. I will share that. I'm not 100% clear what the time frame is right now, but once I know more, I will inform. Um, I was just now making notes on next month's one-page adventure. I've spoken a couple of times about this, an idea that I've had. I've got a few ideas. I've got like well, I say few. I've got quite a few. I've got a lot of ideas all written down. I spoke a little while ago where I was away from one of my normal spots. I was on basically the other side of town from where I am. Um, Out on Heathland, because I was taking some photos, some like reference photos for one of those adventure ideas, and I think I know how to do it. I think I'm gonna do a like micro hex crawl, quite heavily inspired by Brad Kerr's Swamp World, which I read a little bit when it came out, and then like properly read it this afternoon and was like, oh wow, yeah, this is exactly what I want to do, like this kind of thing. Um, so Working title right now is Heather and Gauze and Fire. I'm not 100% sold on that title yet, but I think that's probably what I'm going to go with. I'm looking forward to experimenting with it. I think there's a lot of cool ideas to toy with. I'm like pretty happy with how it looks, or how it's sort of feeling in my head, I guess. Um, I'm feeling really good about it. It's the kind of idea where it's you sort of sit and mull over and you're like, oh, what the fuck do I do with this? And then it just sort of hits you all at once, and you're like, oh, this is exactly what I need to do. Um, yeah, I am currently um sort of a couple like that's kind of all I've really got going on right now. Next week I'm going to be starting. I say next week. This week it's Monday. I'm going to be starting properly on that adventure. I'm going to maybe try and get some of like the initial layout tests done tonight or maybe tomorrow. Um, I theoretically have a game tonight. There's a very high chance of it getting cancelled, but we'll see. um, so if that does go ahead, I probably won't do the layout. Let's be honest. I'm going to be tired. But if it doesn't, I definitely will be, and I might still do if the game goes ahead. Um, Doing sort of like the initial like, oh, this is what it's going to look like on the page kind of thing. Like I have a pretty succinct template for my one-page adventures and just all the adventures I write in general because I think it's a good formula that changes very little between iterations. Like like between adventures, it gets iterated on here and there. Like I change individual things. Like I recently swapped over from having target sort of BX style target numbers for saves because I think they're generally very unhelpful unless you yourself are running BX. To just having, I got the idea from Hisky. Oh, I know exactly how to spell his surname, and I really should learn how to pronounce it. At least stick it into Google Translate. Um, Huovilla. I think. I'm not sure if there's two L's or one off the top of my head, but I believe it is. I think it is two. Yeah, Huovilla. I've worked with him a few times before, sort of on bits and pieces, and he used that in a couple of his adventures. The sort of positive, neutral, negative on whether monsters are like bad at the save, average at the save, or good at it. and I really liked that. I took it a step further and was like, like a negative, like a dash is bad at the save. 2 is like really bad at the save, and 3 is like basically can't succeed at the saves. Is kind of how I interpret it. If a GM interprets it another way, like less extreme than that, then that's fine. I don't really care. Yeah, that's one of like the bigger changes that I've made to that like formula. Um, that I really like. A lot of it is inspired by Karen Pounds' system neutral reference doc, which was used for the game jam that started me doing this in the first place. And I think it's really good. And me using a version of that with a few iterations here and there is like, for me at least, is like perfect on how you like read adventures. It's like basically perfect. I wouldn't. There are other things that ways you can lay out adventures that I think are like perfectly serviceable. But that is the one where I'm like, yes, that's what I like. I like that. Um, but yeah, that's the plan there. And a couple other bits that I was like kind of mulling over. This morning I was thinking about like promo and how I very much don't do enough of it. I should do more of it. The problem is I just don't really post on, because I'm my Blue Sky is my main platform for like, I only post about these on Blue Sky because I do not care. Like the average Twitter user stumbling onto one of these, I think would be not the end of the world necessarily, but like I feel like Blue Sky is niche enough where it's not botted to hell broadly, and the the like lowest common denominator of Blue Sky user is still pretty bad, but like compared to the lowest common denominator of Twitter user is like they may as well be fucking Einstein, Um realistically, I need to be like doing more promo and finding a way to do it that feels good for me. Um because 9 times out of 10 what I do is I release a book. I get ready to release a book, and 1 or 2 weeks before, I will start doing daily or every other day posts leading up to the release. Basically, the more of the interior of the book there is to show, like the bigger the book is, the more material I will have to share, and thus I will do more promo because I don't want to repeat the same post 5 fucking times, because I personally find that shit really annoying. I hate advertising. I hate doing it, and I hate seeing it. Like, obviously, I would be a gigantic hypocrite if and I don't think that like, oh yeah, a small creator doing a social push for their new thing is like, that's a non-issue. I'm talking like, you follow someone and you realize, and then immediately your feed is just becomes like 60% their promotional posts that are very clearly like scheduled up like weeks and months in advance. Like I used to do those like scheduled promo posts, and not only were they utterly fucking miserable, I hated doing them. They were completely ineffectual, and just generally, they felt awful to do. They did nothing for the like sale of books, like literally no effect for something I virulently despised doing. And I'm, yeah, I've been told by many people, start a newsletter, and it's like, cool, yeah, I could do that, but that is an amount of like, what would I put in a fucking newsletter other than, I'm lucky if I can release a book in 3 months, right? I had a good pattern. Like I had 2 in a row where I had like a one book, 2 months, and then another book, and then stuff sort of fell a little bit. Like it wasn't like a huge problem. Like I have 3 adventures written or are being written by other people that I was hoping to publish. One I was hoping to put out in June, but the writer is currently finishing university and unsurprisingly has more important things going on right now. And then The Spy at the Sinks, which was AJ's adventure, which she's now properly getting into the meat of, was going to come out in August, and that June adventure is still going to happen. It's just probably not coming out this year, or if it is, it's not going to be. It's like the writer, the writer will be finishing it in, like, uh, you know, probably this month. As far as I know, his plan is to finish it relatively soon. He's sort of like sort of finished university. He's got like some extra exams in like August or something like that. But in that interim, he's going to be finishing, as far as I understand, finishing the adventure, and then that will probably come out. That'll probably be the first adventure that comes out next year, which is fine. Like, if it comes out, then that's all that really matters. It's not so much a problem really, because we're going to have a lot of adventures coming out this year regardless, but I was really looking forward to having a whole bunch of adventures to bring to Norwich Games Convention in August, and that's still the case. Because last con, which was also NGC last year, we had three. You can't see my fingers at all. We had 3 adventures. Hang on, I could have done this. There we go. 3 adventures, and by the time we go to NGC this year, we will have 6, hopefully, at least 5, because I have 5 adventures out now, but at least 5, probably 6, depending on when AJ's adventure is completed by, which should be hopefully in July, or if not, the people at NGC will get first dibs on that new adventure, and then it'll be released like the week after or the week after that, which is what happened with Across the Open Threshold. Was we brought that to NGC, and I hadn't even announced it publicly yet. It was, it was one of the things I got to tell people, like, this isn't even out yet. I haven't even announced this publicly. Here's a thing, and I didn't win anybody over, but like some people, there was that sort of like, ooh, interesting. I certainly think there might have been one person who took the bait, but I think they were already probably going to buy it anyway. That's I need to work on my promo. I need to do more of it. I need to get better at it. That's something I'm going to sort of strive to do, but it's just I fucking hate it, man. I hate it so much. If I were slightly bigger than I am, I would very happily open like a Discord or something, because I think that would be, if I had the time, or more specifically the computing power to get back into streaming, I would absolutely open a Discord, because I think that's a really good like community space, because I would like to think, emphasis on would like to think, that I have the right sort of temperament to moderate a Discord, like the like, reasonable enough of a person to like not be, well, unreasonable in the face of people doing something marginally stupid, but also, level-headed enough to deal with problem people when they're problems, but maybe that's what every person who ends up moderating a Discord starts as, and ends up just becoming, a Discord mod. Moderate a public Discord, should I say? I have, plenty of, me and my friends Discords that I run. There's quite a few of those, but that's that's a very different story of, you and people you personally know. But yeah, that's I really need to get on that. Like, I really, really do. I keep saying this is it's going to be a shorter one. It never is. Never fucking is. I think the rain has stopped though, so that's nice. The other thing that I was sort of thinking about, particularly last night, was I've been working with Joe Wilson on a 5e class, just like homebrew for home game stuff, and working on it even in the sort of like, like it's very much like this is Joe's thing, and I'm like giving input and occasionally being like, oh yeah, you should probably word this way, or whatever, or like, oh, here's a spell you could put on this subclass's list of free spells, that kind of stuff. Like I'm sure I'll make a subclass or two of my own by the time it's in a more complete state, but it is very much his thing, which I'm but God, fucking, it's bugs. Just reminding me how much I fucking love designing for 5e, man. It's like it's such a weird position to be in of like starting out as a 5e designer, never really hitting it big, and just having this like really sour and bitter relationship with the whole scene. But still, God, I fucking love working on 5e, man. It's such like a mechanically rich game. And that's like a weird thing to say when there are games that are like objectively more deep than 5e. Like Pathfinder 2e is like the obvious example. But I look at Pathfinder 2e and it's so complex, it's actively restrictive to design because there are so many things you have to consider. Like 5e is, has a huge amount. Like, there's a reason that most people's 5e homebrew is unusable dog shit because there is an enormous amount you have to consider and understand to be able to make good 5th edition homebrew. Um, but something like Pathfinder has orders of magnitude more to the point where it's actively very restrictive to design. Um, People like I don't know what the Pathfinder Second Edition homebrew scene is, but I would wager it's probably made much smaller by the fact that every single class has 5 million fucking feats, all of which have to be like quasi-viable build paths just to make your fucking character. And I'm not going to pretend I understand Pathfinder Second Edition to like critique it any more than that because I absolutely do not. But man, I like designing classes in particular. Like, oh my god, it's so much fun. If I had as much as I hate to say it as being sort of like like, oh, I've gone into other territory, like I'm doing other stuff that I really like, and that's true. I am. I'm just like writing these adventures is really fulfilling. I really like it. I really fucking like it. I wish I had the resources to make more faster. The same could be said about literally everything I've ever made because I don't have the resources to make things faster. I barely have the resources to even justify doing the thing in the fucking first place. Like it would actively be smarter for me to stop doing this and pursue a real career, you know? Um, it would be legitimately much smarter for me to do that, but I don't want to because I like doing it. But even that, it's like if I had like money, like money, like capital M money, like I would make a Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, Xanathar's Guide to Everything style book in a heartbeat. Gigantic 300-page hardcover of player options and alternate rules and GM stuff. Literally just publishing the material, polishing and publishing the material from my home game would qualify for being one of the biggest 5e source books ever put to print because I've written so much and have released, like I've written, I've released this much of the amount that I've written, and I've written this much, or released, sorry, this much. I have written this much flaunted ground. That's what I'm referencing is the very small amount of the stuff that I've written has been released, and some of it probably shouldn't be released, but a lot of it I would love to. Like this thing I'm working on with Joe is unbelievably cool, and a lot of its core design tenets are sort of taken from a game that we both like because it's an exceedingly well designed. Like, go play Trash of the Titans. It's still in early access and it's being worked on very slowly, but oh my god, it's so good. Like, fuck me, that game is so fucking good, man. Impeccably designed. I adore it. It's so well put together. Unbelievable how like absolute fucking marvel that that game is as good as it is, and it's made by one person. At least as far as I remember, as far as I understand, it is made by like one person. Like, um, the yeah, it's just really fulfilling design work. And I wish like as much as I love doing what I'm doing, if I could actually make a living designing for 5e and not constantly worrying about ignoring how miserable the rest of the scene is and about how much WotC sucks and how much I hate them and everything that they do, or almost everything that they do, I'd still do it. I still love it. And doing it for fun is still fulfilling. Like it very, very much is. But oh my god, man. Just the amount of shit that I've made that is never going to see the light of day, that I would love to allow to. Oh my god, there's so much. It would take like a year to put the thing together, irregardless of like hiring artists and stuff like that. I mean, realistically, I'd hire the artists first, and while they're trucking along, do my own thing. But again, that requires capital and money. Even starting a Kickstarter is, the best way to do a Kickstarter is to already have $10,000 that you spend on marketing, like, or to have a fan base of tens of thousands of people who will, or both. If you're, like you look at like Neon Odyssey, the Legends of Evantris lot, it's like they're, probably going to be the biggest RPG Kickstarter ever, and like that record doesn't get broken literally every fucking year, but like you know what I mean. Like it's hideously successful. But yeah, I'm to reiterate, this week working on Heather and Gauze and Fire. Still workshopping the name, but I kind of like it. It has a sort of something to it. Like I don't know what that is, but it has something, and I like that something. I think. Gonna work on that. Gonna try and carry on with that Nimble Adventure. I've got several games that are like cancelled this week because one of my players is moving, and then several other people aren't around. Like just how that works out. So I actually have like a lot of free time this week. Like I have like 2 whole evenings in which I have like zero pressure to like, oh, I've got to go cook dinner, start cooking dinner at 5 p.m. to be ready for and washed up and everything for 7. When 2 days a week I don't have to do that. Like I'm going to use my Thursday to be preparing for the game the following week, or maybe the week after that, or whatever. Like obviously I'm going to do that, but like I got a lot of extra time this week and I want to try and use it well. And especially because I'm busy all this weekend. I've got some family bits, and then I have an afternoon game that is going to run from like 1 till like 9. Running more of that Pokemon RPG. I would do session recaps of it if I had the time to do it, because it's been really fun. They got to meet their Team Rocket equivalent last time, and they were great fun. But yeah, I'm gonna head off. God, that fucking bike is disgustingly loud. I'm actually closer to the road this time. The road is like all the way, like up there. But it's a different road on a different side of the park. But either way, I'm gonna head off here because I have shopping to do. And then I have something else to do this afternoon. I don't remember what, but I have something to do, so I'm gonna go do those things. Hope people are having a good week, are able to do stuff, make things, or if you got like a day job or whatever, that it's not grinding your soul down into ash. And if it is, I don't know how to help you with that. I don't know, man. Good luck. Hang in there, fucking cat poster and all that. Hope people have a not shit week, and I will hopefully be back on Monday next week. See ya.